Good morning, friends and my dear viewers. Thank you so much for your response. And today I'm going to teach you again on the writing task 2, which is an essay of 250 words plus. So today we are going to cover a question which is related to fashion. So the question is, fashion plays an important role in today's contemporary world. Contemporary word means today's world or today's era of modernization or today's era of globalization. Or we can also say today's era of artificial intelligence. Discuss the impact of fashion on our society. So the first and foremost thing what we need to do when we read the question carefully, we need to underline the important core words. For example, in this question, the important core word is fashion. The important core word is important role. It is contemporary word. Discuss the impact of fashion on our society. So by underlining the important core words, we tend to understand what exactly is being asked in the question and how we are going to formulate or articulate our sentences so that we can actually write the writing in a good fashion. So before we proceed, first of all, I would like to introduce you to some quotations based on fashion so that it prepares a good background and it will give you some additional understanding of what fashion is all about and how we need to define fashion in the real sense while attempting to this question. So in my book, Ielts Accelerate, I have also mentioned some quotations of fashion. So I'm just going to read those quotations for your benefit. The first one is, fashion is the armor to survive the reality of everyday's life. I'm just writing these words here so that it will help you to understand. Next quotation is, in difficult times, fashion is always outrageous. Next quotation, the joy of dressing is an art. Next quotation is by Coco Chanel, fashion is architecture, it is a matter of proportions. Fashion is a reflection of time. Fashion should be a form of escapism and not a form of imprisonment. Next quotation is, jeans represent democracy in fashion. Fashion is a form of ugliness so intolerable that we have to alter it every 6 months. Next one is, simplicity is the keynote of all true elegance. I'll just write down the word simplicity and also elegance. Next is, fashion has two purposes, comfort and love. Beauty comes when fashion succeeds. Next one is, clothes mean nothing until someone lives in them. Next one, elegance is elimination. Very short one but very powerful. Next one is, we must never confuse elegance with snobbery. Next is, being well dressed has not much to do with good clothes. It is a question of good balance and good common sense. Next, shoes transform your body language and attitude. They lift you physically and emotionally. Next one, the hardest thing in fashion is not to be known for a logo, but to be known for a silhouette. Silhouette is a French word. Next one, so I have written this quotation. I'll read it aloud. The vibrant colors of fashion represent beatitude that drives the sport arm of globalization like a real architect. The beacon of fashion illuminates the darkness with the attributes of equality, liberty and fraternity, which are the epitome of a robust nation, and the capricious binding force globally continues to cast an eternal spell on humanity to dispel belligerent mannerisms which arise on the account of minded conflagrations in the midst of social evils. So in this quotation it describes so many things because it touches upon various topics together. So the idea of reading down the quotations is we will build a strong base. Now the point is, it is easy to remember 2 or 3 quotations, but it is not easy to remember all the quotations. So I'm not asking all the students to remember all the quotations, just read the quotations, and once you are done with reading the quotations on fashion, we will be able to build up a strong foundation, and then the real work begins. The real work of writing an essay needs not only hard work but also smart work. So here today we are going to understand the process, how and what we need to do in the real-time examination in order to write an elegant essay which can help you to score high bands or high marks. All right. So if this is the question, these are the different words we just wrote for your convenience. And now what we need to do, if this question comes to your examination, we need to attempt a 5-why analysis. The 5-why analysis is a tool which will help you to collect more material, and this tool will be in your favor because in this way you will be able to utilize your intellect in the right way. Before I proceed, I would like to tell you two things. There are two types of memories that we possess. One is active memory and one is passive memory. So, if I ask you this question, fashion plays an important role in today's contemporary world, discuss the impact of fashion on our society. By using my active memory, I will be able to write a single sentence. I am writing active memory as AM here. So, my active memory says, fashion plays a pertinent means important, role in our nation. So this sentence is coming from my active memory. Now, I have read about fashion throughout my life. I have seen different fashionable objects on television in forms of advertisements. I have seen many celebrities adopting different fashion trends and fashion styles. So how I'm going to use my passive memory? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to use a tool which is known as 5-why analysis. By using this tool, 5-why analysis, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask myself 5 different questions, and all these questions will start with why. I repeat, it is must that we are going to write the 5 questions starting with why. So the first question can be, why fashion is important for the youth? Next question can be, why fashion continues to change? Why fashion is required in today's 21st century? So I have written 3 questions. I need to write 2 more questions. Okay. So I am just rubbing these 3 words. I'm writing the 4th question here. Why fashion bridges the gap Next question, the 5th or the last question. Why adopting different fashion trends is important? So by using my passive memory, I have written 5 questions. Now what I need to do, I should respond to these 5 questions in a very simple manner, in a simple sentence. And before I respond to these 5 questions in a simple manner, I need to do one task. I need to underline the code words. The first question was why fashion is important for the youth. So I'm writing, underlining important, underlining youth. In the second question, I've written why fashion continues to change. Alright, we're discussing about the change. Why fashion is required in today's 21st century or the era of globalization. Why fashion bridges the gap. Why adopting different fashion trends is important. So we have used some important core words, and do not remember from the active memory I have also written the sentence fashion plays a pertinent role in our nation. So what we need to do, I need to insert all the important elements from the passive memory into the active memory. So what I'm asking from my viewers, read this sentence once again. Fashion plays a pertinent role in our nation. What we need to do, by retaining the meaning of the active memory of the sentence, we need to insert the important elements that we just discussed. Alright, how to do that? Fashion plays a pertinent role in our nation. Can we say fashion bridges the gap and thus plays a pertinent role in our nation? We can say that. Adopting fashion trends. Fashion helps us to adopt different fashion trends that bridges the gap and plays a pertinent role in our nation? Possible. Can we also say fashion is important among the youth as it bridges the gap because they adopt different fashion trends in their pristine life? We can also say fashion is a tangible tool. What is tangible? Tangible is something which we can touch. So can I touch clothes? Yes, I can touch. So can I say fashion is a tangible tool which is highly pertinent as it bridges the gap among the youth? We can say that. Fashion is important in today's 21st century? Obviously, yes. Fashion is pertinent, fashion is pivotal, or fashion is important. Okay, I'm writing these 3 words here for the benefit of the students. One word is pivotal. Pivotal means important. Pertinent, the word I'm using. We also use the word armor. Armor is important. Like soldiers protect us from the enemies. In the same way, the brave soldiers are also known as Spartans. So can I say fashion acts as a Spartan, and thus the armor of fashion plays a pertinent role by bridging the gap in our nation. Multiple ways of writing the first sentence. Okay, so what we need to do right now, we need to utilize our own writing skill in such a way that we can answer to the question. The question is, fashion plays an important role in our contemporary world. So we need to ensure that we answer to this question in a very tactful manner. So we need to be very diplomatic while we are writing this answer, because we need to answer in such a way that we satisfy the examiner in a good manner. So we can say, we can also write in this way. In today's 21st century, or in today's contemporary world, or we can say in today's era of globalization, comma, fashion acts as a tangible tool as it plays a pivotal role by bridging the gap and thus empower the youth in an impeccable manner. Let's say in an impeccable manner. So in this way, we are going to initiate our essay in a good way. This is typically done for the students who sometimes says, we don't have ideas. Come on, after looking at this video, I'm absolutely sure you will be full of ideas, because every time I'm going to explain the same sentence in a different way. As of now, we are using very limited vocabulary, but when we will start expanding the vocabulary, we can also say fashion helps us to convert our weaknesses into strengths, as the pivotal instincts of fashion allow us to deliver results on the core deliverables of accuracy, quality, productivity, and efficiency. We can also say fashion is the tangible tool that empower the youth and transform the youth to a real Spartan, wherein they are able to utilize their attributes in a pertinent manner. I hope the beginning of the essay is highly fruitful for the students and you are able to enjoy the way we are actually playing with words and we are trying to form different sentences. In this way, your hesitation will be removed forever. You will be absolutely full of ideas. So this is just a mere beginning wherein we are going to learn how to write the first sentence. And once we are through with the first sentence, we need to move on. We need to move on with the second sentence of the first paragraph. In the second sentence of the first paragraph, we need to write about the global opinion of the people based on this question. Discuss the impact of fashion on our society. So in the second line of the first question, we can discuss about the global opinion. So with your due permission, I'm just going to erase so that we can focus on the second line. Now in the second line, we are going to write about the global opinion of the people based on this question. So if you ask 5 different set of people, what is fashion all about, they will have different thought process altogether. For example, if I ask a celebrity, why fashion is important for you? The celebrity can answer me this question: fashion brings confidence, rigor, and thus I am able to act in an interpret manner. So we have done this word. Interpret means when you are absolutely courageous, when you are absolutely brave, and you bear all the different circumstances in a very good way. If I ask one of my students, why fashion is important for you? The student might have a different reply altogether. The student will say fashion is important to sustain and survive in today's belligerent world. The world around us is very cruel. So if you wear dhoti or if you wear some ethnic clothes on a regular basis, or if you are not able to purchase good clothes, or if somebody teases you, it will be very difficult because it is easy to provocate students, or it is easy to provocate others at a certain age. So we all need to be fashionable according to the trends, according to the requirements of our age. So it is absolutely right on the part of the student. If I ask the same question to a mother, why fashion is important for you? So she can answer in this way: fashion is important. Fashion is important to understand the core aspects of simplicity. All the mothers, they continue to shower their love and affection onto their children, so for them simplicity is very important. If I ask the same question to a person who is coming from a patriarchal or a very backward society, or the people who are living in adversity, for them fashion is equally important. How they can also relate to fashion? Fashion is primarily employed by the opulent and for us, fashion means to access our basic fundamental rights. So if the poor people are able to access the basic fundamental rights, they're absolutely happy. They are able to access fashion in a pertinent manner, because according to them, fashion is adopted or employed only by the opulent or the rich class. If I ask a leader, what is fashion for you? A leader can explain me in this fashion. Fashion means the right leadership, governance, and trust, and building trust. So if a leader is able to showcase good leadership skills, good governance, and if he is able to build the right trust among his masses, he will be able to adopt the right fashion. So different people have different opinion about fashion. So we can continue debate out on this for hours and hours, but what we need to do, we are in the midst of examination, or we are in the middle of examination. For us, it is important to write about the global opinion. So what I need to do right now, I need to underline the 4 words what I have written here. So fashion helps me to act with great rigor so that I am able to act in an interpreted manner. Fashion helps me to sustain and survive in today's belligerent world, in today's cruel world. Fashion means simplicity for me. Fashion is primarily employed by the opulent, and fashion to me means if I'm able to access my basic fundamental rights, it means I'm able to access fashion. If I ask a leader, fashion for a leader means right leadership, right governance, and building the right trust. So I need to write about the global opinion. What I need to do, I just need to pick the right words and use these words in the global opinion. How I can do that? It's very easy. We're playing with words. I'm happy that you're enjoying and you're equally playing with words right now in your mind while you're looking at this session. So globally, people believe that fashion accelerates rigor and thus helps us to act in an interpreted manner in today's belligerent world. One way of writing it. We can also say fashion means adopting the core aspects of simplicity and acting in an interpreted manner. Fashion is primarily employed by the opulent, and fashion is primarily employed by the opulent, and fashion helps us to showcase the right leadership, governance, and meritocracy, or we are able to build the right trust. So if we can utilize these sentences, till now I have restricted myself from using sentences out of this block. So if we use sentences out of this block, there are multiple words which are coming to my mind right now. I'll just try to share some words with you. We can say aplomb. Aplomb means to act with great coolness. We can also say serenity. Serenity means extreme calm and quiet. We can use the word meticulous. Meticulous means when we try to do the things in a very good way, in a very sequence, like a doctor is able to diagnose the disease of the patient and then delivers the right medicines in a meticulous way. In the same way, when somebody adopts a fashion style, the person is able to act in a meticulous way and thus acts with aplomb. So fashion is a tangible tool as well, as we discussed in the last line. We can also say that sometimes some people adopt fashion and it goes against them. If it goes against them, then I can say fashion acts as a black hole. We can say it in negative as well. So it all depends on us how we use these words. We can also use the word prerogative. If you carefully review the sentence which I have written here, fashion is primarily employed by the opulent, And for us, herein for us are the people who are living in adversity or the poor people who are living in very poor conditions. So for them, fashion means if they are able to access the basic fundamental rights, they are happy or they are contented with their life. So one word that comes to my mind is complacency. We have done that in grammar, sorry, in the vocabulary sessions. So can we say fashion is the real prerogative of the opulent, and for the penurious means poor people. So I repeat my sentence. Fashion is the real prerogative of the opulent, and for the penurious, it brings great deal of complacency when they are able to utilize fashion in a meticulous manner, and thus are able to sustain and survive in today's belligerent world. So this is the way I want my viewers, my students to write and employ your vocabulary in an impeccable way. So if you're able to utilize and understand the vocabulary in a core manner, you will be able to utilize the sentences in the best possible way, and nobody can actually stop you from scoring high. Earlier we used the quotations based on fashion. In the third line of the sentence, we can pick up any quotation and we can use the quotation. So I will simply say in the third line which of the essay, I can simply say the vibrant colors of fashion represent beatitude that drives the sword arm of globalization like a real architect. Now, what is beatitude? Beatitude means absolute beauty, a beauty which is incomparable, which has no comparison. So sometimes if we look at a celebrity is very well dressed. Some of the celebrities are able to buy excessive clothes of fashion designers like Manish Malhotra and others. But some celebrities are able to get their clothes done from other fashion designers, and equally on account of the simplicity, they look absolutely dazzling and gorgeous in those beautiful attires as well. So it is not only that the rich fashion designers or the opulent fashion designers can design, the other fashion designers equally have great intellect, and by using the different fashion trends, they are able to help their clients or their valuable clients to act in an intricate manner. So herein we can use the another quotation we can use, elegance is elimination. We can also use one quotation, simplicity is the keynote of all true elegance. So once we are done with the quotation, then in the fourth line of our essay or in the first line, first paragraph, we need to explain what our quotation really is saying. So if your quotation is explaining the sword arm of globalization, so you need to explain more about globalization. So why fashion is important in today's world. So in the era of, so we can write the fourth line in this way, in the era of globalization, fashion helps us to drive the values, or fashion helps us to act with great serenity, and thus fashion helps us to deliver results. So in the last line of the first paragraph, what we can say, in my essay, so we can say, in my essay, I will explain the various intrinsic and extrinsic factors pertaining to fashion and how fashion plays an important role in today's contemporary world with its wider impacts on our society. So in this way, we are able to write the complete first paragraph. I hope this session is very informative for my viewers and for my students. If you are facing challenges in the writing structure, I really appreciate if you start reading newspapers on a regular manner. On my channel, I have also uploaded videos on vocabulary, and there is another video uploaded on the writing task 1 based on artificial intelligence. and artificial intelligence comes in the examination to the tune of 90% and more. Fashion is equally important because this is a very important topic, and sometimes this topic comes in the examination, so it's highly scoring if we know the right vocabulary and how we can employ this vocabulary in the real sense to score high. So today in this session we have discussed how we need to write the first paragraph of our essay, and different topics demand different opinion, different set of vocabulary. In the next session I will be discussing on the writing task 2, paragraph number 2. So today we have learned how to write the paragraph number 1 of our essay of 250 words. So thank you so much for attending the session. I request everyone to like and subscribe to my videos, and I hope that these videos are highly informative for all the students globally. And again, I would like to thank everyone for your outstanding response to my videos, because in a span of 3 days I have got more than 2,500 views, so it's absolutely amazing, and things are going very crazy, and some students are constantly sending me messages, and I wish all of you to have a great weekend ahead, and thank you so much for attending to my lecture. Thank you very much.